Hi, I'm Sue.
I'm Sandy, and we're from the Light Side UFO Study Group in the Fox Valley, Wisconsin. I had read a long time ago that they were capable, the negative aliens were capable of snatching souls upon death, but were not able to touch a spiritual soul, that soul was as hot as coal to them, a burning coal, which means they probably can capture negative souls. So if they are creating, then they're using a negative soul, and that's not good either.
That's all we need is more of that on the planet.
More negativity.
Bad enough as it is.
Mm-hmm. I also read that there's a factor in the brain that scientists call the R factor, and that came from when they manipulated our DNA, they inserted that, and that R factor, our scientists already know, accounts for aggressiveness, territorialism, and almost all of the negative emotions that people carry.
I've heard that too.
Mm-hmm.
I've read that too.
Mm-hmm.
That's not good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something we all have, and it depends on each individual how they're going to respond
Right.
with that.
Right.
And the more spiritual they are, the less that can come out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Why do you think that reptilians haven't just come to the surface and taken over immediately?
because there's too much light up here. God's light.
I think
That's how I feel.
I think that is part of it, but I suspect, because I had heard quite a while ago that there were reinforcements on the way. I suspect that even as muscular and powerful as they are, there are not enough of them here, compared to the amount of human beings on the planet, and so I think they're waiting for reinforcements too.
That could be.
Mm-hmm.
That could be. Well, I know there's, just from the underground bases, like Dulce, New Mexico, where they found that huge cavern, and they were full of reptilians and greys. And our technology, they couldn't fight these guys. And our military went in and they didn't win. But they're seeing reptilians all over the planet.
Mm-hmm.
It is not just in any one specific location. We've read about places like Malta, the island of Malta off from Greece, South Africa, Arizona,
Los Angeles.
Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
Just on our part of the planet, it's just a lot of places where they're actually seeing reptilians.
Mm-hmm.
Weren't they even saying along the river in Milwaukee they had seen something?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're everywhere. Of course, they've been here for a long time.
Well, and most of us know that a pole shift is coming, and I was wondering how they would fare going through a pole shift because of their negativity.
We already know that their negativity is not spiritual, and the more spiritual you are, the easier the transition's going to be for you when the pole shifts. The negative people could just, because their vibration's not high, when the earth goes through the shift, the vibration of the planet's going to go higher, and they won't survive. That's what I've heard anyway. They're not going to survive.
So my guess is they're going to try and leave the planet and probably take as many slaves with them as they can. So in the end times, if both sides, the positive and the negative side, come in to rescue, I would think people should be very aware of who they're going with and what choice they've made. Or they could wind up being a slave.
A slave or food.
Mm-hmm.
People need to read more of this stuff that's going on with reptilian agenda,
Mm-hmm.
and find out what they're really doing and what they're really like. And it's scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's very scary.
What do you think the agenda is for the Greys?
They want to be able to survive on this planet, and they can't themselves. That's why they're still underground for the most part. So they're trying to get a human hybrid that can function on the planet to do what they want them to do. It's like they're building an army of people that can come over and just take over.
Well,
part of it too, I think, is the implants they put in people. They don't know what's in those implants. I mean, you could turn against, with the implant, if it's turned on, you could turn against your best friend or your husband or wife or your child.
Wow.
You know, and
So the implants are not a good thing.
no, not at all.
Well, if someone from my hometown came into my room, abducted me, implanted me, would I think that was okay? Why do people think it's okay for an alien race to do that?
I think they're all brainwashed.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're brainwashed because at our level, abduction or something like that, we call the police, the FBI, everybody,
Mm-hmm.
you know, find this guy and get that person back.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they're alien doesn't make it okay.
Well, and I think it's obvious what the reptilian agenda is. They want this planet, they want its resources, and they want the people for slaves or food. But what about the shadow people? What is their agenda?
I think they're after souls.
Which to me is scarier than coming after my physical body.
Mm-hmm.
If they're after my soul, that's a forever thing.
Yes.
And you can always get another body, but you can't get another soul.
Right, and your soul's gone somewhere else where it's not supposed to be. It's supposed
Mm-hmm.
to be with God.
But there is a way to protect yourself.
Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's using the light of God. That's part of us, just part of our soul. And we use the light to protect ourselves. Using it, visualizing it, coming from your heart or from your mind, surrounding yourself totally with this light that's bright and shining white. And it's absolutely beautiful, and expand it out as far as you can. And anytime these negative beings come anywhere close to you, they're repelled by that light. They can't stand in that light.
Mm-hmm.
They have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very strong, and it's coming from God. And when you believe it 100% within yourself,
Mm-hmm.
that this is God's light and it's there to protect you, they can't stand there at all. They have to go.
I have a vivid memory of being on board a negative reptilian craft. And at first this was very confusing to me because through the years I've been guided and learned how to protect myself from these negative beings. And here I was on board their ship, their spacecraft. And as you can see from the picture, I'm kneeling in front of this hybrid child and I'm holding his hands. And I'm telling him that he needs to be strong for the other children. And he looks at me with those big, beautiful eyes, and he blinks long and hard, like he's taking it all in. And he's got a large head and sparse hair on the top of his head. And we are surrounded by this bubble of light. And inside this light, there's such a sense of purpose and a feeling of peace. And outside this light, I could feel, like I sensed that there were two reptilian beings. One was male and one was female. And they were very mad. They were very upset that I was there. They could not enter into that light. And later on, I found out that this hybrid child had decided not to be a part of the negative agenda that they were grooming him and other children to be a part of. He did not want to be a part of that. So he asked for help, and I was sent to help him.
Our study group published a small pamphlet on how to refuse alien abduction, and it can be obtained online at thelightside.org.
Or if you look up reptilians as a search on the web, it will take you to that booklet also.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you for your time.